The metallic ping of the incoming transmission caught Junho Park off guard. His small apartment, nestled in the crowded research district of New Seoul, felt suddenly too quiet. The holographic message flickered to life, revealing an official seal from the Interstellar Probate Council. Junho's fingers trembled as he accessed the message. Dae-sung Kim, his former research partner, his closest alien friend, was dead. The words seemed to hang in the air, impossibly heavy. They had worked together for years, studying rare planetary ecosystems across multiple star systems, sharing countless nights, analyzing microscopic biological samples, and dreaming of discoveries that could change humanity's understanding of life. The message continued. Dae-sung had named Junho as his sole heir, not just for his scientific research, but for everything, including a substantial fortune accumulated through decades of groundbreaking xenobiological discoveries. But there was more, something that made Junho's breath catch in his throat. The inheritance included Yuna, Dae-sung's life companion from the Orion cluster. A complex cultural arrangement that went beyond human understanding of partnerships and inheritances. She would become Junho's responsibility, his companion, his something he couldn't quite define. Memories flooded back. Dae-sung was not human. His species looked almost humanoid, but with iridescent skin that shifted colors based on emotional states. They had met during a research expedition on a distant moon, where Junho's breakthrough in atmospheric adaptation caught Dae-sung's attention. Their friendship had been instant, transcending biological differences. Now Dae-sung was gone, and Junho was being asked to continue his life's work. The holographic message included coordinates for a secure storage facility. Buried within would be Dae-sung's complete research database, technological innovations, and personal records. Junho knew this was more than just an inheritance. It was a legacy. His small apartment suddenly felt constraining. Research papers were scattered everywhere. Half-completed analysis charts hung on magnetic walls, and specialized equipment hummed quietly in the corner. Junho had always been dedicated to his work, but now everything felt different. The communication from the Probate Council included strict instructions. He would need to travel to the Orion Cluster's central administrative hub. There he would formally accept the inheritance and meet Yuna. The thought both excited and terrified him. What kind of relationship would they have? Dae-sung's species had complex social structures that humans were only beginning to understand. Yuna wasn't just a partner. She was a scientific collaborator, a cultural ambassador, and now somehow linked to Junho through this unexpected inheritance. His communication device pinged again. Another message, this time with preliminary details about Dae-sung's research. Preliminary scans suggested breakthrough technologies in planetary terraforming that could revolutionize humanity's approach to space colonization. Junho packed quickly. A few personal items, his most critical research equipment, and digital backups of his current projects. The journey would be long, taking him far beyond the familiar solar systems he had studied for years. As he prepared to leave, he noticed a small holographic image of Dae-sung sitting on his desk. The alien's color-shifting skin had always fascinated him, a living display of emotional complexity that human bodies could never achieve. Now that image seemed to watch him, almost expectant. "I won't let you down," Junho whispered, knowing. Somehow that Dae-sung would have heard him, even from wherever beings go after life ends. The spaceport was busy, filled with researchers, traders, and travelers from multiple star systems. Junho's travel documents, now marked with the official Probate Council seal, ensured smooth passage. His mind raced with possibilities, with questions, with a mixture of grief and excitement. What discoveries awaited him? What secrets had Dae-sung hidden in his research? And most importantly, what would Yuna be like? As his transport prepared for interstellar jump, Junho realized his life would never be the same. An inheritance of science, of friendship, of potential, all waiting to be discovered. The stars outside began to stretch, signaling the beginning of faster-than-light travel. Junho closed his eyes, ready for whatever came next. The transport vessel docked smoothly at the Orion Cluster's central administrative hub. Junho stepped into a massive circular chamber, his heart racing. Hundreds of alien species moved around. Him, their various forms and colors creating a living tapestry of galactic diversity. A tall figure approached. Yuna stood differently from other beings. Her posture was both elegant and calculating. Her eyes, deep silver with flecks of blue, studied Junho with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. She wore a simple grey uniform with intricate data, patches along the sleeve, suggesting her own scientific background. "You are Junho Park," she stated. It wasn't a question. Her voice carried a musical quality, slightly electronic but distinctly personal. Junho nodded, suddenly aware of how small he felt compared to her presence. Daesung had often spoken about Yuna, her brilliant mind, her complex understanding of planetary ecosystems, her unique approach to scientific research. The official transfer of inheritance happened quickly. Digital signatures, quantum encryption, and a series of biological confirmations that Junho barely understood. What he did understand was the weight of responsibility now resting on his shoulders. Yuna's first words after the ceremony were unexpected. "We have 3 days to review Daesung's complete research before external parties become aware of our discoveries." Her directness surprised him. No small talk, no condolences about Daesung's death, just pure, focused scientific purpose. Junho realized this was going to be very different from any relationship he had experienced before. Their first collaborative session happened in a sealed research chamber. Holographic displays surrounded them, showing complex molecular structures, planetary mapping data, and intricate terraforming algorithms. Yuna's fingers moved across the displays with incredible speed, revealing layers of information that made Junho's previous research look simplistic. "These are Daesung's final project notes," she explained. "A method to transform toxic planetary environments into habitable zones using biological catalysts." Junho was stunned. The research was decades ahead of current human understanding. Each molecular diagram represented potentially millions of lives saved, entire worlds made livable. He understood now why Daesung had chosen him as his heir. Their working relationship evolved quickly. Junho's detailed, methodical approach complemented Yuna's intuitive understanding of complex systems. They worked in synchronized silence, communicating more through data exchanges than words. On the second day, Yuna shared personal details about her history with Daesung. Their partnership wasn't romantic by human standards. It was a deep scientific collaboration that transcended traditional relationship boundaries. She spoke about their shared missions, their discoveries, their vision for interspecies cooperation. Daesung believed humans had unique problem-solving capabilities, she told Junho. "That's why he chose you." The research facility became their world. Advanced computers processed millions of calculations. Holographic models shifted and changed, revealing potential planetary transformation strategies. What had started as an inheritance was becoming a mission. Junho discovered that Yuna had her own complex emotional landscape. She didn't express feelings through words, but through precise scientific contributions. Her way of showing respect, of building trust, was through sharing knowledge. By the third day, they had mapped out the initial stages of Daesung's final project. A method to convert carbon dioxide-rich atmospheres into oxygen-generating environments, using genetically modified bacterial colonies. The potential was enormous. Entire dead planets could become living worlds. As their first collaborative phase ended, Junho realized something profound had happened. This wasn't just about inheriting a fortune or continuing research. This was about bridging differences, about understanding that communication happens in many forms. Yuna looked at him, her silver eyes reflecting complex emotions. "We will continue Daesung's work," she said simply. And in that moment, Junho understood. The inheritance was more than resources or research. It was a bridge between species, a continuation of a vision larger than any individual. The stars outside the research facility seemed to shimmer with possibility, waiting for their next discovery. The first attack came without warning. A precision laser blast shattered the research facility's outer protective shield. Alarms screamed. Across the communication systems, holographic warnings flashing urgent red against pristine white walls. Junho grabbed emergency protocols, while Yuna's fingers danced across security systems with lightning speed. "Corporate interference," she said coldly. "Someone wants Daesung's research stopped." The Quantum Horizon Corporation had been monitoring their progress. Their agents, a mix of cybernetic mercenaries and advanced AI constructs, wanted to prevent the revolutionary planetary transformation technology from becoming public. Junho realized their research threatened massive economic systems. Entire planetary development industries would collapse if their technology worked. Transforming toxic worlds into habitable zones meant destroying billion-credit terraforming contracts. "We need to move," Yuna instructed, downloading critical research data into a quantum-encrypted storage device no larger than a human thumb. Her movements were precise, calculated, showing years of survival training. Their escape route wasn't conventional. Using Daesung's hidden network protocols, they activated an emergency transport sequence. The facility's backup systems initiated a complete data wipe, destroying any trace of their research that might fall into wrong hands. The transport pod launched silently, cutting through space's darkness like a silver needle. Outside, pursuit vessels began tracking their trajectory. Quantum Horizon's advanced hunter-killer drones started computational tracking sequences. Junho's hands shook slightly. He had been a researcher, not a fugitive. Yuna noticed his tension, placing a calming hand on his shoulder. Her touch carried an unexpected warmth, a connection beyond mere physical contact. "We anticipated this possibility," she explained. Daesung prepared multiple escape routes. Their pod entered a specially designed quantum tunnel, a hidden transportation network, known only to select interspecies research groups. Navigation systems randomized their actual location, creating multiple false trajectory signals to confuse pursuers. Hours passed. Tension remained thick inside the small transport pod. Junho analyzed their research data, looking for potential vulnerabilities. Yuna monitored external communication channels, tracking potential threats. 2 pursuit vessels managed to enter the quantum tunnel. Advanced AI systems calculated potential intercept points, but Yuna had prepared for this. She activated a series of quantum disruption protocols, creating multiple false signal echoes that confused the hunter systems. "They won't give up easily," she warned Junho. "Our research threatens significant economic interests. The planetary transformation technology they possessed could convert toxic environments into living ecosystems within months, something traditional terraforming methods took decades to achieve. Major corporations would lose trillions if this became public." Their pod eventually landed on a small research station orbiting a distant neutron star. Hidden among scientific observation platforms, they would be temporarily safe. Junho noticed how smoothly Yuna managed their escape, her movements showing years of prepared strategies. "How did you know all this would happen?" Junho asked. Yuna's silver eyes flickered. Daesung always prepared for multiple scenarios. He knew powerful entities would resist our research. The research station was a marvel of interspecies collaboration. Scientists from multiple star systems worked here, studying cosmic phenomena. Their anonymity provided perfect cover for Junho and Yuna. As emergency protocols settled, Junho realized their journey had transformed from a scientific mission to a complex survival scenario. They weren't just protecting research, they were protecting a vision of planetary transformation that could change galactic development forever. Yuna began reconstructing their research database, her fingers moving across quantum interfaces with practiced ease. Junho watched, understanding that their inheritance was more than just scientific data. It was a dangerous, revolutionary concept that some would kill to suppress. Outside the research station's protective shields, distant stars continued their silent dance. Quantum Horizon's hunter vessels searched, unaware that their targets had already disappeared into the cosmic darkness. The real battle for planetary transformation was just beginning. The research station hummed with quiet intensity. Junho and Yuna worked side by side, their fingers dancing across holographic interfaces, that projected complex molecular structures and planetary ecosystem simulations. 3 months had passed since their escape. Hidden among cosmic observers and independent research teams, they had been refining Daesung's revolutionary planetary transformation technology. Each breakthrough came with calculated precision, each algorithm a potential solution to humanity's greatest environmental challenges. Their current focus was a dead planet in the Epsilon Quadrant, a toxic world with acidic atmospheres and zero possibility of supporting life. Traditional terraforming methods would have taken centuries. Their new technique promised transformation in mere months. Yuna's genetic modification algorithms were revolutionary. She had discovered a way to engineer bacterial colonies that could rapidly convert toxic atmospheric compounds into breathable oxygen. These microscopic organisms would essentially eat harmful chemicals and produce life-supporting environments. "We're ready for initial testing," she told Junho one morning, her silver eyes reflecting complex mathematical calculations. The first simulation ran perfectly. Virtual models showed how the bacterial colonies would spread across the planet's surface, consuming toxic elements and releasing oxygen. Within the holographic display, a dead grey world slowly transformed into a vibrant green and blue sphere. Junho couldn't believe their success. Years of research, Daesung's vision, their combined expertise, all converging into this moment. If their technology worked in real-world conditions, they could transform hundreds of previously uninhabitable planets. But challenges remained. The bacterial strain needed to be precise. Too aggressive and it might destroy existing mineral structures. Too passive and it would fail to transform the environment effectively. Their first physical test would be risky. They would need to deploy a small research probe to the target planet, introducing the modified bacterial colonies and monitoring their progress. One miscalculation could destroy years of work. The research station prepared for launch. Specialized quantum communication systems would provide real-time data transmission. Every scientific team in the station watched with quiet anticipation. Launch happened silently. The small probe, no larger than a human hand, carried months of concentrated research. As it entered the planet's toxic atmosphere, initial readings began streaming back to their research interfaces. First hours were critical. The bacterial colonies needed to establish initial growth patterns. Junho and Yuna monitored every microscopic movement, every chemical interaction. 12 hours passed. The first signs of transformation began appearing. Toxic atmospheric compounds started breaking down. Oxygen levels slowly increased. What had been an impossible environment began showing signs of potential life. "It's working," Junho whispered, hardly believing the data streaming across their screens. Yuna's hand touched his shoulder, a gesture of shared excitement that transcended their different species. Their research was no longer just a scientific project. It was a solution to humanity's greatest environmental challenges. News of their breakthrough would attract attention. Quantum Horizon and other corporate entities would soon discover their location. But for now, they celebrated a moment of pure scientific achievement. The planetary transformation continued. Within days, the first microscopic plant structures began appearing. Oxygen levels stabilized. What had been a dead world started showing potential for complex life systems. Their communication systems suddenly flickered. An incoming encrypted message from sources unknown. Junho tensed, expecting another attack. But the message was different. Independent research teams across multiple star systems had heard rumors of their breakthrough. They wanted collaboration, wanted to understand their revolutionary technique. Yuna decoded the message quickly. "We're not alone anymore," she told Junho. "Daesung's vision is spreading." Outside the research station's protective shields, the transformed planet continued, its silent rebirth, a testament to scientific collaboration, to the power of understanding beyond species boundaries. Their inheritance was no longer just a personal journey. It had become a galactic revolution. The Kim Park Xenological Foundation stood as a beacon of hope in the crowded research district of New Galactic City. 5 years had passed since Junho and Yuna's breakthrough in planetary transformation technology. Their first successfully transformed planet, once a toxic wasteland, now supported a thriving ecosystem. Vegetation covered continents, oceans, sparkled with clean water, and the first human-alien research colonies had begun establishing permanent settlements. Quantum Horizon's attempts to suppress their research had failed. Instead, their technology had become the new standard for planetary development across multiple star systems. Scientific institutions from hundreds of planets now collaborated on their methodologies. Junho walked through the Foundation's main research hall, watching holographic displays showing planetary transformation projects happening simultaneously across different star systems. Each blue dot represented a world being brought back to life. Yuna joined him, her silver eyes reflecting the complex data streams. "We've transformed 17 planets this year," she said, her voice carrying a hint of pride that she rarely expressed. Their relationship had evolved beyond the initial awkward inheritance. They were partners now, in research, in vision, in purpose. The cultural barriers that once seemed impossible to cross had become their greatest strength. The Foundation received daily communication requests from struggling colonies, desperate, planetary governments and research teams seeking their expertise. What had started as Daesung's personal research had become a galactic movement. Their most ambitious project was about to launch, a massive terraforming mission targeting a cluster of 15 toxic planets in the outer rim of the Orion sector. If successful, it would create an entire habitable star system where nothing could survive before. Junior researchers moved through the facility, representing species from across the galaxy. Humans worked alongside alien researchers, sharing technologies, breaking down cultural barriers. The Foundation had become more than a research center. It was a symbol of interspecies cooperation. Junho remembered the day Daesung's inheritance changed his life. What seemed like a complicated, unexpected gift had transformed into a mission larger than any individual species or planetary boundary. The quantum communication system pinged. Another successful planetary transformation completed, this time on a world previously considered impossible to inhabit. The holographic display showed green landscapes replacing toxic environments, rivers flowing where only chemical storms existed before. "We're changing how civilizations view planetary development," Yuna told him, reviewing the latest data streams. Their technology had economic implications beyond scientific achievement. Entire industries were being redesigned. Planetary development, corporations now focused on ecological restoration instead of resource extraction. A memorial to Daesung stood in the Foundation's main hall. Not a traditional statue, but a living ecosystem display showing the first planet they had transformed together. His vision continued through their work. The Foundation's annual conference brought together the most innovative minds from across the galaxy. Representatives from hundreds of civilizations would gather, sharing research, discussing future planetary development strategies. Junho looked at Yuna, understanding how much their journey had changed them both. What began as an unexpected inheritance had become a mission to transform how intelligent species viewed their relationship with planetary ecosystems. Outside the research facility, the first human-alien colonies continued expanding. Cities rose on transformed worlds. Ecosystems flourished where only chemical storms existed before. Their research had given hope to millions seeking new homes among the stars. The quantum communication system displayed their latest achievement, a comprehensive planetary transformation manual that would be freely distributed to research institutions across multiple star systems. Daesung would be proud, Junho said quietly. Yuna's hand touched his, a gesture that spoke more than words. Their partnership, born from an unexpected inheritance, had changed how entire civilizations would approach planetary development. As night fell over New Galactic City, holographic displays continued showing planetary transformations happening across distant star systems. Each blue dot represented a world being brought back to life, a testament to scientific collaboration and hope. The stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, waiting for the next discovery.